January 6th committee carefully spelled out all of the things Trump did and did not do on that fateful day, including his refusal to call the National Guard.
Are you aware of any phone call by the President of the United States to the Secretary of Homeland Security that day?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Did you ever hear the the President ask for the National Guard? Did you ever hear the President ask for law enforcement response?
No.
Commander-in-Chief, you got an assault going on the Capitol of the United States of America. And there's nothing. No call, nothing, zero.
And there was a phrase we heard often, a dereliction of duty. We're not going to go to commercial break. I want to bring right in Frank Figliuzzi, former FBI Assistant Director for Counterintelligence, and Michael Steele, former chairman of the RNC and former Lieutenant Governor of Maryland. Frank, you have decades of law enforcement experience. Was what we heard tonight a dereliction of duty?
It was in our understanding of this, certainly. Now, let's be technical here and explain that phrase, dereliction of duty, applies to the military service and their code of criminal justice, not to a civilian. And even though Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief or was the commander-in-chief, that military code would not apply to him. But in the concept that he chose to not act, a deliberate decision to not take action, that's a problem for him because it's one more piece, an important piece in the puzzle that DOJ is looking at. What's the puzzle? What was going on in terms of intent and mindset inside Donald Trump's brain? We got more of that today because leaders choose not to act. And so when you put all of his actions, calling Georgia, asking for one more vote, disregarding all of his experts telling him there's no fraud here, then going over the cliff and getting the crowd involved and rallying them up, now you see the inaction because he wanted it to happen. That all comes together to show intent and mindset.
Michael, what's going through Mitch McConnell's mind tonight? Just hoping Republicans didn't watch this. Fox News didn't air it.
I can't believe we're going to, not win the Senate this year or, actually, to be honest, the House. Could find some interesting twists and turns now that this committee is pushing into September. Look, McConnell's been very concerned from the very beginning, Stephanie, about the politics of all of this. There were some disagreements about the way McCarthy handled this. There are a lot of Republicans who felt there should have been a greater presence of Republicans on this committee, if not just to throw firebombs, but just to kind of, give them an opportunity to have a different conversation. That has not been able to materialize because the most effective voice in the Republican Party laying down indictment after indictment of Donald Trump is none other than Liz Cheney. Oh, my God, the girl is bringing
Michael,
receipts.
Hold on. These concerned Republicans that you talk about who've been concerned for a long time, where do they express these concerns? Cookouts with their friends and family? They hold public office, which means these concerns they have should be shared in the public. And last I checked, you got a whole slew of election deniers running for office this November. Yeah,
but Stephanie, the public don't elect them. Their base elects them. All right. So they're not interested in talking to the three of us or sharing those thoughts and concerns with us. They may do it privately, but they're not going to go out into a town hall meeting and raise that up and say Donald Trump actually stole this election. It wasn't stolen from him. They're not going to do that. Look, the best clip of the night, do you want to sum up the Republican Party?
Bring it.
That Josh Hawley clip, the way that was laid out, that was yes, Josh Hawley, but is also the party, out there, saying one thing and then running away from the problems that they cause. So, but the reality still remains. They're not trying to appeal to us. Mitch McConnell and the crew are looking at how many votes they need to line up in which districts to get across the finish line so they can get the power back. That's what this is. That's what this game has always been.
the problems they cause. What about those who let the problems get worse? Frank, we learned that law enforcement, Secret Service, they knew that there were guns on the premises, right at the rally, which was very close to the White House. How didn't they take action before they stormed the Capitol and shut this thing down?
This is a great question because, you know, in my experience working alongside Secret Service at major special events, if you've got that many weapons in the crowd and you're starting to lose control, you are going to shut things down and you're going to get your protectee out of there as soon as possible. So there's really a larger question here, isn't there? Are we looking at a tale of two security details? It struck me significantly tonight to hear about the radio traffic on Pence's detail, right? They literally, I mean, this is just really something as a law enforcement officer to actually start talking about contacting your family and saying goodbye to them. I love you. Is that what they were going through? And then let's contrast that with what we don't know about Trump's detail. What's happening at the White House? Why, as you said, Stephanie, why aren't they pulling him out of a crowd that has multiple weapons in it? So I think there's more to this story, and I hope it's not a story of two details of, you know, how can you listen to your brothers and sisters calling for help on the Pence detail and you're sitting there at the White House as if nothing is happening? We need more detail about the detail.
Well, Mr. Figliuzzi, you better buy a 4-leaf clover and make some wishes because your hope, I don't think it's going to take you too far.
Yeah, I think there are two details here.
Yeah. Frank Figliuzzi, Michael Steele, thank you both so much for staying up tonight.